Broadcast. I am Hate Mail, and with me today I have the guy who never loses any PvP matches, DoomBawkz.
Hey there, and that is in fact true. I have accrued 0 losses so far.
So today we're going to talk about Impulse, and the key theme today is if you slot Impulse in a team, you should never lose, ever.
I mean, more or less, yeah, he gift wraps your win for you. I mean, you can't just slap him solo into a team by himself and expect him to 1v4. But if you already have a team that somewhat answers the enemy comp, Impulse just wins you the match. So.
Except there was a team, Martian Manhunter, B12, Harley Black Flash, that you didn't say he could win hands down by himself. So.
Well, no, I said if you slotted Impulse in the team, if you're matching the speed, you probably would win that one.
But I do agree that I love Impulse. I'm surprised at how many people don't like him that much. Which, I mean, he's not... I mean, Black Flash kind of stole the thunder for this month because he's just so absurd. But I feel like Impulse and a Black Flash go so well together. And even though my stun only procs 7% of the time instead of 70% like everyone else's, I still... when that happens, because it's 2 turns, is so nasty.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about it, which is something I brought up to someone earlier, is that the main reason people are looking down on Impulse is because he's placed next to Black Flash. But if we were to say not have Black Flash this month and it was Impulse and someone else, Impulse would basically be meta mandatory. So.
Well, the only thing is he doesn't use his 2 on defense, but like once every 10,000 matches. So he's not scary to face, which is kind of almost disappointing. Yeah, but I can't decide if I like it or not.
That's why you leave him at the very, very, very first rank that you unlock him at, so he only has access to 1 and 2. Boom. Tier 11, baby Impulse.
I think that's what OC3 did. He only left him like R2, and he uses them a ton in Siege. And for some reason, he's like one of the only people I haven't faced. So I'm curious if his Impulse uses his 2, but I usually don't ever let them have a turn, so I've never actually gotten to see it.
I will say this, because I have fought his team. I was curious about it, so I left his Impulse for last, and yeah, it starts with 2.
Wow.
But, of course, I had Impulse, so it was like, who cares? But Impulse is definitely one of those characters. A lot of people point to his RNG dependence, as they call it, for a reason why he's not great. But I feel like the bread and butter of his kit is stuff that's just guaranteed built in. Of course, we'll probably talk more on that when we go into like the kit part of his thing. But, you know, he is a very, very good character. And, you know, obviously I was blowing a tiny itty-bitty bit of smoke when I was like, oh yeah, he's an auto win. But he essentially does make most matches that you walk into trivial at best, because just his one trick that he can do, it's so absurdly good that, I mean, he could suck at everything else and he would still be good for that on offense. On defense, he's trash, but that's fine. Defense doesn't matter. Everything's trash on defense.
Well, especially Impulse, because he doesn't use his moves in a good order. He does apply, the only thing is if you are running a slow team, he opens with a 3, and the AI almost always gets the hit chance downs, which even surprisingly, it's funny, because I've used Impulse in nearly every match in Siege, and the stun procs 2 to 3 times. If I clear a board, if I have enough energy to clear a board, out of 10 matches, it'll proc 2 or 3 times, sometimes 4 if I'm lucky. But I use his 3 usually on turn 2 pretty much every time. And those hit chance downs proc almost every time. I would say 7 or 8 of the 10 times. But it's 20% lower chance, which is kind of dumb.
It's a little weird. I do understand that some people have been having issues with the whole stun thing. But, I mean, you know, with 70% meter drain and the fact that you are probably also packing Black Flash, it's a little less than a thing. But, yeah, he's definitely solid. Of course, his kit's pretty good. The basic does surprising damage. I think it's actually going to be pretty decent in this upcoming raid.
Yeah, I think he might. I mean, his damage isn't great, but I think, yeah, he might be. Because he's going to be able to deny. Him and Black Flash are just going to make it so that the boss never, ever takes a turn. So when you're fighting those 150s especially, they're just going to go, go, go. And they have fast animations, which also makes a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I was also talking with someone about the idea of putting him and just St. Walker on a team. Because every time he dodges, that's just another 3 attacks because he calls St. Walker for an assist. So that could get pretty meaty, a ×5 on a ×5 multiplier. Even if his damage is low, just how many times he's hitting is going to make up for that.
Yeah, and even that basic, because it does seem to proc those 3 times pretty regularly, because you usually use it later in the match once he'll have an evasion by then. He'll have it too. So when he attacks 3 times in a row, he can actually do, because it's not a ton of damage, but when it's 3 times, it's like regular Flash. You attack enough times, it actually makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. Plus, on top of that, someone was bringing up but you have to wait for the evasions, but a PvP match is a much, much, much shorter ordeal than a raid match. You're going to get to evasion over the course of a raid fight. It's just 2 minutes of straight going at it. It's basically guaranteed. Whereas a PvP match, those things are over in 3 or 4 turns, so...
Well, and that 70% chance to gain the evasion up seems to also not be like his stun, and it happens almost every time.
Yeah, I get it pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Speaking of that 70% stun, his 2 is bananas. That ability, I remember at one point we talked about a one-trick pony, and but if that trick is good enough, does it make that character good? I think in this case it really does. The fastest character in the game plus a 70% just dump off of your opponent's meter is something that would just completely mind-boggle us any months before Black Flash came in.
Yeah, and also that legendary upgrade is a lot better than I would have thought, especially when you're facing because you face Black Mass so often in Siege right now. Mm-hmm. So he gets those strength downs, and he converts them instantly to strength ups, and then now he can use his basic 3 times.
Yeah, one of those things, like Arcus, right? You bring Arcus to a fight because he has duel. I mean, he has other stuff, but the primary thing you're bringing him in is to be a big, fat beat stick, And that's his trick. He's a very stupid, high-damage character with marginal utility beyond that. But it's that one trick is so good that he doesn't need to be good at anything else. He doesn't need to have any further utility.
Well, he doesn't get taunt with death immunity.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Marginal utility, because he only gets the taunt for 1 turn. But still, it's more to the point that whatever he's hitting is probably going to die. His utility is making the match a 3v4 as soon as he gets a turn.
Yeah, I like Impulse a lot. I'm probably, how many more days? I'm running out of time. I actually got to decide on this soon. I'm debating on how many shards I'm going to get for Rebirth. I don't think I'm going to Rebirth him right away, but he's going to be on my list. I got 2 more days to decide. What are you taking him to, Doom?
Personally, I mean, maybe Legendary 5, I guess. I don't think I'm going to Rebirth him. I don't think it really matters for him.
He probably doesn't
I
need
agree
it,
with
but
you.
he sits on my stun teams, so...
Hi, Luke.
Hey, Luke.
Hi.
Welcome.
Well, the reason I say it doesn't matter quite as much is because, with Black Flash, he needs to be a bit beefier to deal with the fact that he's vulnerable to counterattacks and evasion and such like that. Impulse, on the other hand, his kit kind of just generally gives him a small bit of more survivability in general. And honestly, if he's getting hit, then he's going to die. But the whole point is don't give them a turn and you won't get hit. So I don't see it as having that much value, honestly.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, Black Flash is kind of the same way. You should just deny turns so you don't really worry about it. But I do think his basic will do a lot of damage, triple hit, if he was a high rebirth. So that would be my only... It's one of those ones I'll probably just collect shards and then sit on it, and if I have nobody else to rebirth, depending on how often I've been using them. That's why I'm not going to buy to RB5, crazy, I'll probably just go to like RB3 shards. That's pretty cheap. So what are your thoughts, Loot? We were jammering about them.
Yeah, I mean, I've used him a lot the last 2 weeks. He does that one thing. I want to say he does it well, but he almost does it well. It's that stun at the very beginning. If it were guaranteed, which is what I was really hoping it would be, he'd be really great. But it doesn't stun guaranteed. So the 70% turn meter down is good. With the stun, it's great. Other than that, I think he's pretty bad. I don't like him. He doesn't fit my personal play style. He's not tanky enough to take hits. His evasions don't really work. It's kind of a weird thing that he has with those evasions because he doesn't really have a method to like naturally just keep gaining them, or the stack just isn't big enough. Like if he would have had a cane stack, I'd probably be saying something completely different right now.
I think he'd be too broken if he had a cane stack, though, because he's being the fastest character in the game and effectively shutting down an entire team's turn. You really can't give him too much more.
I know. I don't know. I just feel like what he brings, like I can get around him. I don't necessarily. He's there, right? But I don't have to bring Impulse to beat Impulse.
Oh, that's because he doesn't open with his 2. Except like on 1 or 100th.
In Siege he does.
Every
I've
now
got
and
it
again.
recorded.
Rare.
But, you know, he's all right. He does that one thing really well. And because of that, his tier will go up. His worth goes up right away because he's really fast and he's got that turn meter down. I'm not even going to say the stun because the stun is not a guarantee. So you really bring him
a bonus
because he's fast and he does the immediate turn meter down. And if you want to counter him, you can without an impulse, but you got to think a little bit, think outside the box. I think he's okay.
Just to add in a little fun note about the stun, unlike a lot of other stuns, because it's not attached to a damaging move, it's not affected by evasion. So you could have a 30 stack evasion Cassandra and still stun her through it because it doesn't check for a hit or miss.
You're absolutely right. And I so wish it were just 100% because that stun would be so good.
Yeah,
you know,
I almost wish they gave him less everywhere else.
Let's just stun Barda. It's like, I want to stun Barda. I'm going to try and stun her so that she doesn't taunt ever. But I can't. It's a maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, because if it were guaranteed, like a guaranteed 2-turn stun on a 70% meter drain on the fastest character, that might be a bit much. I understand why they made it percentage based, but if it were like 100% 1-turn stun, that would still be bananas.
Yeah.
I want a character that
totally
has a
hear
2-turn
you.
stun that's 100% though. Preferably on a Mystic. That would be fantastic.
That would be cool.
A no damage targetable 2-turn stun on a Mystic. That's what I need for my comp. That's what's missing.
You know, Black Flash also does that no damage move, right? Like he doesn't miss on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like the way that they did that mechanism for both of those characters. I thought it was well executed.
They definitely pair super well together.
Yeah,
they're strong together.
I was M4's stream, and I was telling him about the flow chart. He didn't believe me though. That 2-2-3-3 is ironclad. It's so good, you know, because too many people are like, "Oh well, it's a Martian Manhunter, so I'm gonna use Impulses 3 to get rid of the awareness," and I'm like, "No."
I don't do that.
Use Black Flashes 2. Have someone else worry about the awareness, and then hit them with Black Flash's 3, you've denied them 3 turns at that point because you shut them down before they get another. And it's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare that I've had a siege match where the enemy team gets to do anything ever. Like, they don't ever get to take any turns.
Also, further to this point, this kind of drives yet another nail into the nail-ridden coffin of there will never be challenging PvE content. Because before it was just, oh, well, we can just work around it in like 20 different ways. But now it's just straight up, our enemies will never get a turn. So they bring in a character
it's
that's
broken.
like, I will get a turn, then...
I mean, they could come up with something to make it hard, but they would have to, like, really think it out.
Or they can just do something like this, the enemy doesn't take turn meter down. Negates all turn meter moves.
Yeah, I mean
that's fine. Because I'll just straight up run Medfill and Chemo and just hit them with so many speed downs that it doesn't matter.
Well, they have unpurgeable death immunity for first turn, something. then that's how you get around it.
Well, a lot of times those raid boss style characters don't even take debuffs. They shake it right off.
Well, some of them don't.
Right.
Like
No, I mean the big boss. With the Alliance, one of the bosses doesn't, maybe it's the legendary boss. He doesn't take debuffs.
Yeah, the one we have coming up.
So let's get into legendary order for Impulse. I know, honestly, I don't think it matters a whole heck of a lot. You kind of whatever you want.
I think one of them does take preference, in my opinion.
Which one?
I personally like the AoE the best.
Yeah,
after that, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, his AoE is first in every order. Beyond that point, it's just whatever you're building.
I lean, actually, after his 3, I really think the 1 should be next, because that, being able to attack 3 times is so good. I mean, that's probably the most valuable move after that. After that, I really don't think it matters so much, but I really like that one.
Did you notice how that skill is worded? I feel like they've got these, like, grammar school kids writing these things. Attack once again after second attack. I don't know why.
You know what?
You remember, what did they call it? Backflash? Backflash, front flash?
In fairness, if they worded it in most other usual ways we see, then the move would be hitting way more times. Like, if they made it strike an additional time, then he would be hitting 4 and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they definitely could have worded it better, though. Like, I think I pointed that...
It's really funny.
Something else that we were talking about earlier, and I was like, the sentence doesn't grammatically make sense. I don't understand.
Yeah, I kind of never understood why would they farm out something as simple as just... I don't know.
So I'll tell you which skill I personally think should go last.
What's that?
Just my personal opinion is 2. I feel like 2 is the last skill to take.
See, I like that one next because think about it. When you're playing in Siege, and me and Doom were just talking about this earlier, if Black Mask is on the enemy team, you open with his 2, and then now you have 2 speed ups right away. And now his 1 will do 3 attacks.
Well, no, it's 1...
I didn't look at it that way.
It doesn't do it for speed.
I thought it was speed up. Oh, it's evasion, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, it's good because with 3 speed ups, that means that he gets a 3rd turn before Black Flash would get a 1st turn if you were to pair him with Black Flash and do the 2-2-3-3. But, yeah, honestly, I think 2 is pretty up there. My last pick personally would probably be 4, just because it messes up his already crappy defensive order even more.
Yeah, because, I mean, you don't really care about using his 3 a second time, ever.
Yeah, you want him to use his 2 as much as possible as it is, so having the cooldown reduction actually sets his 2 usage back 1 skill turn each time. So rather than getting it on his, say, 2nd, 5th, and 8th turn, you're getting it 2nd, 6th, 9th, 12th, so on.
In his 5, he's never evaded before, so
I kind of like his 5, personally.
I like it. It just doesn't ever.
Oh, you know what? His 5 is really bad. He doesn't evade.
I mean, I like running him with Batman Beyond and Scarecrow sometimes for,
Yeah, if you're building an evasion team.
So it can be good if you're building into it. Before, I just don't see a use for it.
Like, on his own, he doesn't really enable himself to do that.
I mean, technically he does. He just doesn't do it well.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, even he's got like 70% chance to apply 1 permanent evasion up on impulse at the start of his turn. The weird thing is that it just doesn't, like, I've had matches where he gets a lot of turns and he still only has 1 evasion up. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't proc very often. And even if you have 2 or 3, usually the enemy can ignore that. I mean, my Harley Quinn...
Maybe the percentage is broken. Maybe it's just not hitting as much as it's supposed to.
That's how I feel about a 70% stun.
So if you ran it 10 times, you feel like 7 out of 10 it works?
No,
or no?
3 out of 10 it works for me.
Oh, so that's terrible.
Yeah, I could show that on video. It's like 27%.
That's like my Barda. She never procs at all.
Barda's broken. Nobody's Barda's procking, so.
Yeah, Barda's definitely weird. 30%, okay. Yeah, sure. But I remember I have a video recording of me using Impulse in a Wrath match, and he was like the only one left with 4 people, but he had so many evasions up at that point that he was just slapping through everyone because they couldn't touch him anymore.
Yeah, I've never had him get even close to that many evasions.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But, again, Legendary Order for the most part doesn't matter. 3-1-2 or 3-2-1 or whatever.
Yeah, I have on my chart now 3-1-2-5-4 is kind of what I'm leaning. It doesn't matter that much, but 3 and 1 are probably the ones. 3-1 are probably the best ones of his kit. 2 if depending on what you're trying to do, or 5 if you want to make an evasion team.
Yeah, I think 3-1-2 gives them the most utility, but you don't really need 2 or 3 or 1. Technically, you could just leave them rank 2.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're going to get it, yeah, 3-1-2 or 3-2-1 or something's definitely the order.
And if you guys have enough time, since we've been very slacky on videos, as many of you know, I work in big finance, and PPP round 3, 2, or whatever you want to call it has started, and my time is horrifically limited right now. So let's kind of just talk briefly about Kid Flash and Jay Garrick. Let's talk about Kid Flash first, since I know you guys like, or at least I know you like Jay a lot, so we'll save him for last. I am not real excited about Kid Flash. He's an improvement over what he was before, but I really don't feel like there's that much of an improvement. And honestly, this Siege, I've used him very little, because I just feel like everybody else that came out this month does what he does, but better.
Didn't you lose a match because you brought Kid Flash?
Yeah, my very first match, first day, I lost a match because I brought Kid Flash, and I didn't have a way to stop, because I didn't get an insta-kill on John Stewart Green Lantern, and then I had to back out because I could not stop draining turn meter. So.
So fresh.
Yeah.
Well, that's there is a tip there. Don't ever bring Kid Flash against Barda. Match will never end.
Well, it wasn't against Barda. I had a bot board, so I had John Stewart Green Lantern. But yeah, same price.
Oh yeah, no, the exact thing. Actually, that exact same thing happened to me. I lost one of those because I brought Kid Flash and I couldn't kill John Stewart.
You know who didn't lose the match? This guy. You know why? Because I brought Impulse, and I didn't bring Kid Flash.
See, I did bring Impulse because I thought I should just win, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, Impulse is good. He basically is an auto win, but if you're just so terrible, it's, he's not Jesus.
So that was the problem. None of the bonus tunes purged, so that was was a major problem. And then, Kid Flash, he's good. Like, he's a solid character. I just don't see why you would bring him over really any of the new speedsters or
Yeah,
some of the old ones.
that's
I
definitely
only use him selectively, and it's from play testing. Lately, when I've been doing my fights, I've been trying to get 20-point wins, and I've been fairly successful. He has helped me beat some of those weird teams out there, where if I used Impulse, I couldn't win in practice, but if I brought Kid Flash, I could. And it was just weird. It's been weird. I don't think he's very good at all. He does do great things, but there's so many better choices.
Yeah, that's honestly his problem this month, is that he happens to be getting reworked at the same time that we got 135 speed, 70% meter dump, and Black Flash triple S tier. So, he's not bad, but he's just not as good as your options that you already have out there, especially because Black Flash is free. Like, you should never be using Kid Flash over him.
Not to mention, the main reason I think you would bring him is if you're facing a heavy speed down comp. But there really isn't any heavy speed down comps you're afraid of, or that anyone really runs. So his niche really isn't helpful.
Yeah.
I agree.
Honestly, if they gave him Titan synergy, at least he would have that, but no dice. So it is what it is. Let's move on to the interesting character. I think we all kind of beat the dead horse that is Kid Flash at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And Jay Garrick is a surprise because we really thought he was going to be
Trash.
bad.
Trash. No, I think the word I used was he's worse than trash.
Yeah, and we thought with his rework he would be even more, marginally better, if that. And he's surprisingly a solid character now.
Yeah, I remember I definitely, as much as I like to give characters the benefit of the doubt sometimes, I definitely took the stance of, he has a niche, but outside of that, you really wouldn't see him. But I was 100% wrong. Like, this
Me too.
character...
Whoa. Hey, everybody take note. Doom is admitting he's wrong.
Yeah, of course. I'm fine with admitting I'm wrong when I'm actually wrong. It just doesn't happen often. But, Jay Walker, oh my goodness. I can't even call him that anymore because he's so fast.
Yeah, he definitely put away the Walker. He should be standing up right now, which he's still not, but his damage, that's the biggest thing. His damage is significantly better. If he's the character I actually, when I'm facing a match where there isn't Barda, he's the one I pick for my stun 100% of the time because he's the only one I fear on the enemy team.
Oh, I do the exact same thing. He's such a threat. He can kill Black Flash in an instant. He can kill Donna Troy in an instant. Hell, he almost took out an Ares leader in one shot.
I actually had a match, I think I actually have a recording of it, where I was just playing Wraith, and he was the bonus character, so I was running him. And I used his AoE on like turn 2, and I one-shot against a regular level 70 or level 80 team. And his AoE killed 2 blues and a red. I could not believe it.
You know what his secret is? He transferred all of his old manness to the new Flash skin.
He must have.
That's why Flash looks so weird. Is because he wasn't expecting to get Jay Garrick's old age. But you know what? Jay definitely stacks up, especially that can't miss. It's like, you can't even enrage this guy. He'll still run in there and punch you in the face. Rest in peace, Eclipso.
What's funny is I had a match where I was facing Eclipso, and I just used Ares and enraged him on purpose to give him all the strength ups, and then he just attacked twice and just annihilates. You can even wipe out MJ with him with all the strength ups.
I remember I was doing a match with him, and I put in Kilowog and the Green Lantern John Stewart, and I slapped 7 empowered strength ups on him, and I hit his AoE. The field was clean. Like, I'm talking Artemis when she was released, and we were like, how much damage is this character clean? Like, it was spotless on the other side of the field.
And that turn meter stealing is pretty useful. I mean, it's not as good as I would hope it could be, but it's surprisingly good.
I mean, in fairness, it's not good against Black Flash.
No.
Because you can continue to reset turn meter. But against other characters, it's super decent.
He's definitely got a place. Luke, you took him to RB3, right?
I did. I think he is a great A-tier character. I'm really happy with him. That can't miss is just perfect. He just dominates those evasion characters. And like you just said, with giving him that enrage, dude, it's so much fun. You give him that enrage and he just kills people. It's awesome. I love it.
So if
His
you're
AoE is strong. Everything is strong. His kit's weird. Like on paper, he kind of looks like he's bad. But when you go to use him, he's good. And they didn't raise his stats, which was weird. Like when we saw his stats and they weren't any different. It was like, man, this is bad.
Yeah,
but they bumped up his damage output on all of his moves.
Oh, yeah. People underestimate the power of scaling when it comes to attacks. But when you take his AoE and you bump it up by like 50%, and then you take his basic and you give that a 50%, like that's going to be a lot of extra damage that's coming out over the course of a match, and especially all at once. If he hits that AoE plus the 2 basics,
that's a ton of damage.
It's dump truck.
Yeah.
He does some really great damage. It's super impressive. At RB3, he's like a really good utility player for me. He does like a lot of things. So I'm really happy with him. I think it was a good decision.
Yeah, they did a good job. I mean, overall this month was, even Kid Flash, who was kind of the meh of the month, he's still good. Like, there's no...
He's not bad.
Yeah, there's no trash characters this month. Everybody got it. He was just lackluster in comparison to the other 3. So.
I mean, maybe next month we'll get to the trash bin.
I mean, by frame of comparison, right? Like, compared to Black Flash, 90% of characters are trash now. Like, that character is so ludicrously good.
Yeah, he's just absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Hey, maybe next month somebody will just mess him up.
I wouldn't hold my breath. They like their turn meter for some reason. I mean, look how long Lex has dominated. So, and he's only kind of meh now because of Black Flash.
I mean, he's not even meh now because of Black Flash. He's meh now because of Black Flash plus Martian.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, if it's not a Martian team, Lex plus Black Flash just is gangbusters. They'll tear down the house.
And Jay fits right in because his 2. You just open with his 2 and give him the buffs and get going. And you get all the speed ups and it's party time.
That's one of the things that I'm not sure if this month has been healthy or unhealthy for the game. Because each character has become equal parts much less viable and much more viable depending on if you're offense or defense.
Yeah. It seems like Black Flash almost makes the matches too easy at this point. I mean, it's like Red Alerts. My Red Alerts team is actually Lex, Black Flash, Jay, and Impulse. And I just mow through every single match.
Well, you know what? At least we can be happy that our new Overlord happens to be a speedster. Because you know what? That's how it should be. Those characters are broken.
Yeah.
But what are you guys thinking preliminary about tier placement for Impulse? Because you guys make the tiers, so.
I am going to vote A for Impulse.
I'm leaning S, but...
I don't think he's got enough. I don't think he has enough there for S. But we'll all vote.
But I kind of want to vote out several people in the S tier,
too. We'll make an argument for it.
There's a lot of people that are getting...
This is finally the time when you guys are kicking out some of the S tiers that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like,
We do. We made it we really try. We've talked about it. We want to swap them in and out, so we're probably going to demote some people this month.
Yeah, this I want to start the new year with. It's going to be a hefty list this month. A lot of people that are in A that shouldn't be in A anymore.
As long as you guys raise my boy Medfield to A tier, I'm fine with it. That character plus Black Flash and Impulse is ludicrously good.
Make no promises there.
You guys shame yourself. But you know what? That's why, like, 2/3 of the people in this call have lost matches, and 1/3 of them hasn't. I guess I'm just built different, as the kids say.
For your whole week and a half that you played.
Okay. No, actually, I'm still doing Siege matches, to be fair, and I still haven't lost one. I've been recording them. But in fairness, also, I have not been playing optimally because I don't play Siege and I don't care about winning. So, to put a little bit of fairness in this equation, because I don't want to just gas myself up forever here. I've basically been playing, specifically including Impulse and Black Flash on my team, but the other two I just flex out as I need. If I were going full bonus tunes, I'd probably still use Impulse, if we're being honest. But I probably would have lost at least one match. But because I'm able to very flexibly say I'm fine taking a plus 14 or 16, whatever, that kind of does slant it a bit.
I'm curious
now,
how next Siege is going to work, because this Siege is ridiculously, I mean, in comparison to other Sieges, it's very easy not to lose a match compared to other Sieges. Even with bonus
the
plus
reason
18.
the reason why I've lost is because I am trying to go full bonus every fight. That's why I've lost a couple times.
Yeah. So
because if I don't, there's no way I have a shot at winning. It's too it's a really easy. This is probably the easiest Siege I've ever participated in, to where you can get just an 18-point win, no problem.
Oh yeah. So I'm definitely
no problem.
I'm the best player because I'm playing a different game than the other people playing Siege. But I'm also not saying that I'm not the best player. So take from that.
Oh, I know I'm not the best player.
I mean, whatever. If a parade of owls comes in and tells me I'm wrong and then I'm not, then that just feels good. That's a personal win. So,
Though I will say that there is a few people who are doing surprisingly well without Impulse towards the top.
Are they the suspicious people, or are we talking?
No, real people.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
No, all the suspicious people actually do have Impulse.
Actually, I don't think they do.
They do. All three.
I don't think Welchick does.
She doesn't have Impulse?
No, I don't think so.
See, that's how you know. That's how you know. I'm not going to say any more beyond that sentence, but that's how you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I thought she did. I'll double check her roster.
And then one of the top three have a Gear 8, Black Math, Black Flash.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that was something I was meaning to mention for the sake of it. Impulse. For those who don't know, if you haven't hit that Gear 11 stride yet, Impulse at Gear 10 will speed tie a Gear 11 Black Flash. So,
isn't that weird?
If you're a player, that can be a good utility aspect to him that might help you push some matches and punch above your weight class where you wouldn't otherwise.
Du Bois does. I was going to say, I thought Du Bois didn't have Impulse, but he has him at R3.
Oh, he ruined him already.
Yeah, no, it's like, leave him at R2. What are you doing?
Shame.
The AoE comes in use when you're on offense occasionally, though.
Well, yeah, but, there's so many comps and so much shenanigans you can do with Impulse that it's like you can do a match where you just never use his 3 and be fine.
I'm just happy to see I have Joshua's as a defensive win on my Siege board.
I'm actually doing a full bonus revenge on him right now. This very moment.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen that guy stream. I don't know if that's that impressive.
Shots fired.
I mean, I will say this, right? Among the players that stream, Josh is probably, well, I guess Du Bois streams too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Josh is the most tolerable high-level streamer. There we go. That's what I'll say. You know? But at the same time, sometimes he plays a match, and I just think to myself, wow, it's so great that literally anyone could do this. Yeah,
So you really think highly of him?
honestly, I like Josh, but he keeps giving my trivia wins away to other people in his chat, even though I'm right on a lot of them. So, no, I hate that guy. Just kidding.
Well, I
I
know who my
personally like
favorite
Josh.
streamer is. It's the Owls M4.
I really like that new guy that's on the scene now. Man, I can't remember his name, but I remember I was really vibing in his chat. You know?
New guy. I don't even know a new guy. I've been so I haven't seen anyone stream in so long. I stopped in
Hold on,
M4 the other night, but that was the last time I've been in a stream in eons.
I'm gonna look it up real quick because I need to know.
I don't even make it to my own stuff, so it's hard.
And for clarity, I'm on Whale Chick's roster. I'm looking at it because she's on my board. And I don't see Impulse.
Yeah, no impulse. It's not suspicious at all.
No.
Yeah, that's of course not.
It's
And
about
then,
it's about as suspicious as Twin City Legends G9 Black Flash.
No, not suspicious at all. Total. That's 100% on the up and up. You know, like how could it not be? You know. That's one of those things, you know, because I don't like to play into the whole they're a hacker, they're not a hacker thing. It's drama. It doesn't end well. You know what I mean? But there's sometimes that in my heart of hearts, I look at something and I say, yeah, maybe. I could probably jump in this dog pile, but I don't because, you know, it's a bad look for a mod to be singling out people in their communities. You know, it's not a good time. But there's definitely some suspects at the top, and I'm just like, I can't say who.
I can't say it.
Can't say it. I want to. I can't do it. But you know what? If they don't have impulse, that's one of those things. You can look at that and you could be like, oh, that's who it was. That's who Doom was talking about.
You know what, though? I am just really hoping that in this new year of 2021, WB takes this situation that I believe that we're in seriously and makes some systemic changes for the good of the game. That is my hope.
Well,
I
I
really
feel like we got a
hope
little
that
bit of
they
good
do
vibes
that.
when we gave our report from that episode. So I'm still cautiously optimistic that they're going to take it seriously.
I hope so, honestly.
I mean, it's only been a couple weeks, technically, since they got it. I mean, they got it right before the holidays, so I don't even count that as time. So when we look at the grand scheme of things, because I was starting to get annoyed, then I started really thinking about it, and it's only been really 3 weeks into the new year and all the new year projects and everything else that we kind of dumped on their lap. It's not like this was planned for. It should have been, but it is what it is. And I think the public outcry, just, you know, with a variety of things that have taken place over the last month and a half, I think has put some pressure. So I'm still optimistic. In the next couple months, we should hopefully see something, anything.
Honestly, that's kind of what I'm pulling for at this point. I don't have faith that we're going to see a full fix. I don't even think that's possible, just because technology is wild. But I just want progress. If we can just get progress, like showing a genuine interest in fixing this, that's what I want, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Also, have you guys noticed that every January we get an S-tier character?
Wait, so Tell me about that. Who did we get last January?
Survival Support Suit Lex as a rework.
Oh, dang. What about the
So
January
it's
before
been
that?
a year, huh?
January before that, I believe, was... It wasn't Wonder Girl, but it was someone else that's way up there. It was Red Hood.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, he's still technically, probably. I don't know if he might be one I demote to A, or suggest he demotes to A,
Okay,
but
but...
he's very good. He was S tier for a long time.
Oh, yeah. And then the January before that, we got... I think we got Arcus that month. Because that was back when they were still doing 3 new characters, and we got Jessica Cruz, Medfill, and Arcus.
Yeah, and Arcus was S tier, then he fell off, and then
I
he
think I'm
became S tier
about to
again.
lose again.
Oh.
You shouldn't be
really
playing while
pay
you're
attention.
podcasting.
I mean, did you bring Impulse?
Nope.
Well, I mean, did this podcast teach you nothing? My God, man.
Oh, man.
Anyways,
I can't believe this is happening. I lost like 3 times today.
Oh, my God.
that sucks.
Yeah, you're not
I've
going to beat Chosen that way, and I'm trying to catch him, and then I just looked at the stupid Siege board. Well, actually, it's 18 minutes into the new hour, so hopefully he's played. Yeah, he's played, because now he's number 1. All right, good.
I've fallen into the bad habit of letting my energy cap, so I'm committing shame upon the Siege stuff. I keep forgetting to check, and honestly, this is why I don't like Siege. It's too dang stressful. I already don't look at my game outside of the reset time to see what's in the shop. Y'all are making me check in periodically, please.
This is how we live as Owl C players, and then our 4 days of misery during raids. We don't get to do anything but raids.
I know, it's disgusting. I can't imagine it. That's why when you guys are like, well, you guys don't compete in Siege, da-da-da to me. I'm like, yeah, because that sucks, and I hate it.
Well, that's why we look at Toons a little different than you, because we're looking at 2 points and a loss, and yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's my loss. I lost.
I literally could not fathom putting enough care into a match to care about 2 points difference. I just couldn't do it. It's not for me. You guys are built different in that regard, 100%. Like, that is not the life I am living. But you know what? I respect you guys for it. Even if I think Siege itself is a flawed concept to base things on, I do respect the fact that you guys are top-end, bleeding-edge players. You know what I mean?
Well, we appreciate that.
So
you're so much nicer in person than you are on Discord.
Yeah. So, like, when there's a parade of you who come in and say, oh, well, you can't do this, then it's like, I respect you guys enough to at least try and do the thing that you guys said I couldn't do to prove you wrong and to prove that your opinions are crap. And that Medfill really shouldn't be B tier on your list, and that you moved Hippolyta down from S to A. But, I mean, whatever. Who's paying attention to that stuff anyways? I don't care.
Yeah. Only
several
thousand people that listen to the episode. But
I mean, you guys can just take solace that it's purely by the grace of God and the fact that I'm lazy that I don't just completely crush all of you in Siege every single month. Because I could do it. I could never lose a match. But I don't want to take that glory away from you guys. I'm just saying, I also don't care at all, honestly. I think I'm a terrible player, but I think these characters are busted. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that bet. Are you kidding me? Never lose a match with Impulse? Yeah, okay, sure. Slots, Black Flash. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's Impulse. It's 100% Impulse that's carrying me. Don't worry about the other characters on the team.
Hey,
right,
guess
guys.
what? I brought Impulse to the same team.
And did you win?
1 in 30 seconds.
Damn it, Luke.
Well, just saying.
We're relying on you and Grim Reaper to...
I'm done, dude. I'm out. The only way for me to do this is I got to literally spend 2 hours on every single revenge, spiraling, trying to figure out something that could get me 10 points. And it takes hours. It's had a really big success rate. So time consuming. Like, I don't have the time during the week. On the weekend, no problem. I could do it. But just normal, I can't.
Yeah, I don't get how you guys can do that stuff at all in the first place.
Yeah, like I'm watching my timer. I have an hour and 7 minutes before I can play. Then I got to dump all my energy at once.
Speaking of an hour and 7 minutes, man, we've been at this for a while. Let's go ahead and call this so we can go eat and you guys can go slave away for the WB overlords.
Yeah, I gotta do that, and then I gotta spend a couple hours editing. Well, I don't edit. I just gotta do the video, but that takes forever.
Yep. You guys go enjoy your whale chicks table scraps.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
Later.
Take care.
Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Tubitron. Thank you for listening to WROL Broadcast. If you like the show, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/WROL Broadcast. Hey Kage,
What's up?
I want to introduce you to someone. My new friend. His name is Kyle.
Daddy.